Hello, everyone. Welcome to Deconstructing the Dark Passenger podcast, the podcast about all things Dexter. I'm Jean.
I'm Victoria.
Today, Dexter Season 4, Episode 12, The Getaway, also known as the worst 47 minutes of my week.
Somebody wouldn't even watch the last 7 minutes of the episode.
We'll talk about
but
that.
It's okay, because I had to.
I don't need to. I know what happens. So let's get going here.
I do too, but still.
Let's do it.
This is also known as the episode that makes me cry.
This is the episode that makes everybody cry. So we open up at the station. Dexter's like, we left off with Dexter and Trinity nose to nose. And Dexter's like, what have I done?
Yeah, he tells him, he's like, you're on the wrong floor.
Yeah.
And Arthur's like, no,
Nope.
I'm on the right one.
And Dexter's like, well, we go talk somewhere. And he's like, why? So we meet somewhere private so you can extort more money from the Trinity killer? And Dexter's like, no.
And he's like, well, what do you want? He's like, disappear from my life. Give up your
Vigilantism.
Thank
You're not
you.
very good at it. This is John Lithgow's delivery of this, just you're not good at this. Very casual. And then he's like, goodbye. Dexter keeps M99 in his desk.
It's kind of crazy.
That's wild.
I mean, at some point, you might have to knock Vince out. So maybe that's what it's for.
I get that. Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Vince gets to be a little too frisky.
Oh, God.
I mean, Vince keeps semen in his refrigerator.
Oh, I forgot about that. God damn it. Okay. So Dexter's got his M99. He's on his way. He's in pursuit. And Joey stops him. And he's like, just leave me alone. I'm doing something. And he knocks Joey on his ass.
Yeah.
And he goes in pursuit, and Harry's like, you don't have a plan, my man. I don't know what you think you're doing. Like, what's happening here?
And during all this time, Rita calls him. She's like, I want my honeymoon now. And I'm just like, really?
While the kids are... So, while he's doing too much.
Yes.
He's chasing Trinity. He's talking to Rita. He's talking to Harry. He ends up sideswiping some car, knocking the mirror off. Harry's like, the messes are piling up. This is exactly how I would have said it too. I was like, yeah. So he follows Trinity to this parking garage in front of this bank. Mirror guy, the dude he just swiped his mirror off, has managed to follow him this whole way.
Yeah, or he's driving and he finds the car.
I guess so. Dexter drives a gray Ford SUV. I mean, I think there's more than, especially...
Yeah.
I don't think it's alone in the world, but anyway. So Trinity doesn't know that Dexter is there yet. Trinity's in the bank getting his money.
Yes.
Dexter's trying to wait, but then here comes Mirror Man. So this is going to throw a wrench in the whole thing. Deb, we got to cut back to Deb. We're having a back and forth between Dexter's situation and Deb. Deb, for some reason, is not taking the day off, and everybody is appalled. But she gets a hold of Valerie again.
Yeah.
And Valerie's like, hey, yeah, I do remember this other CI.
I know where she lives.
Know where she lives. Deb's like, all right, I guess that's how I'm spending my day off, is hanging out with Valerie at this other CI's house. Okay, so Trinity comes out of the bank. Dexter gets him, M99s him, gets him into the back of his own van. And he was leaving, we know Trinity was leaving town. He's getting all his money together. Dexter hides Trinity's money on this light fixture in the garage.
Yes.
Which seems like a terrible idea, but...
Yeah, and then he walks back out of the garage because there's cops all around his car now.
Yes. And Dexter... Dexter just loses it, and he punches this guy. Or he doesn't punch this guy. The guy starts taking a picture of him, or starts filming it on his phone, or taking a picture. I can't tell if he's actually recording him a video or just taking a picture. And Dexter grabs, he's like, get that fucking thing out of my face. And I mean, he's he's not having it.
Yeah.
So they end up arresting him, because he's like, well, I'm Miami Metro, I'm going to the crime scene. They're like, no, that does not work with us. This is the sheriff's office. I'd be like, dude, Ramon Prado. Hey, Ramon Prado's my boy. But he doesn't do that, so he gets arrested. So Deb and Val, in the meantime, they pull up to Laura Moser's house, which I guess 30 years later, nobody's bothered to live here.
Yeah.
Deb realizes right away. She recognizes it. She's like, this can't be right. And Val's like, oh, no, this is it. I'm sure. I remember her name. Now it was Laura Moser. She had 2 little boys.
Yeah, and of course, Deb remembers being brought there by Brian, the ice truck killer.
Yep, of course. Okay. Dexter's in jail.
He just keeps thinking he has to be the one to kill Trinity.
He has to be the one to kill Trinity, and Harry is telling him, you're not thinking clearly. It's because of your family. And, Dexter is coming at this from the other side. He's like, no, I'm the opposite of Trinity. My family has saved me. And he's working towards a revelation here about it, giving my thoughts as it goes on at the end, because I don't want to... I think it's important to kind of go with his pace of discovery,
Yeah.
So we're back at the station. They're talking about this Beaudry stuff. The more they look at it, the more it does not add up, which Dexter knew it was not going to hold up forever. But
yeah.
But in the meantime, Angel has figured out the 10-year-old boy thing.
Yeah, he's figured out the entire pattern now.
Yes, he's got the whole pattern now. They realized that's why Lundy couldn't figure it out, because he was missing this one crucial part of the pattern.
Because, he does the homicides, not the missing people, not the missing persons.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Deb is continuing looking into the Laura Moser situation, and she discovers it's Brian and Dexter Moser
were brothers, and they were Laura Moser's sons.
Yep. Rita has to bail Dexter out of jail. She is very stern. He says, all the terrible things I've done, like disappointing Rita, it makes me feel the worst.
Yep.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
He gets back to the garage. Of course, Arthur is gone.
Yep.
Arthur is gone because he's at his house robbing his family.
He's like, give me your money. Give me the money you hide behind your headboard. Give me anything valuable. Give me your wedding rings. And Jonah's like, how can you do this? And he's like, you're lucky I don't take your fillings from your teeth. I mean, he's like, just a madman.
I've given you everything you have, and I will take it away.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the relationship. That's it. That's his relationship with his family in a nutshell.
Yep.
Right there.
I giveth and I can taketh.
Yep. So Deb goes to Matthews with this information she has, and she wants to, hey, can you tell me about this quadruple homicide out at the ports? And they always told me that Dexter's parents died in a car accident, but that's bullshit, right? Yeah, Matthews is like, that's right, that's not true.
Yeah, he told her Dexter was the shipping container.
Yes.
The bloodiest scene anybody's ever seen.
Yeah.
And that Laura Moser was Dexter's mother.
Yes, which means that Brian Moser was his brother.
His brother.
Yeah, this is a lot to take in for poor Deb.
Yeah, because Deb's like, and Brian, the ice truck killer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Arthur doesn't quite leave his house yet. He goes into his garage and he starts Googling Dexter. He finds a D. Morgan. And we're like, okay. So Dexter is at the house. He's at his house. He's watching the windows. Because he knows, like, okay, he knows my name now. He's going to show up here. He's watching the windows, and he's like, hey, Rita, I think we should go to the Keys tomorrow. I think you should go. Like, just go.
Fly down there, have a spa day. I'll be there by nightfall.
Yep. Okay. So, there's this moment they have where she's like, she says to him that I accept that you have your demons, but you don't have to be a slave to them. And Dexter, they have a nice moment because he's like, that's the man I want to be. And there's nowhere I'd rather be than with you. And I'll talk about what I feel like this means in this particular context later. But I want to contrast this with his certainty in season 2 and his certainty in a later season. That these women understand him because they see him the way he really is. And they accept him the way he really is. I was like, what they see is something that excites them. They see somebody that they either relate to as far as like being a killer or a bad person or whatever.
Yeah.
There's that's the attraction. They see somebody that won't judge them.
Yes.
because you're no better. That's what they see. What Rita sees is you are a good person. You have bad things in you, but everybody does. She doesn't know quite how bad.
Yeah.
But doesn't matter to her because that's not the part of him that she loves. She loves the real him.
Yes.
It is his confusion about what part of him is the real him. He wants the persistent belief later on and earlier on that the dark passenger is the real him.
Yes.
This monster that Harry created is the real him. It's the saddest thing about this show.
Yeah, it is.
Rita loved the real him, not the little beast that Harry created. She loved that little boy that was sad about the lizards, you know?
Yeah.
The man that little boy should have become. That's the Dexter that she loves.
Yes.
And that's what we get here when she's like, he's like, I want to be that man. I want to be the man. That's the man I was supposed. He doesn't say it, but this is the gist of it. That's the man he was supposed to be. He understands that, even if he can't verbalize it, and he does know that. He says, I want to be that man. You know?
Yeah.
That is not a slave to this darkness.
Exactly.
We'll talk about that at the end because I feel like it's about him, but it's about something a little bit bigger too. They bring Scott into the station because Scott now they've put this the boy in as part of the Trinity pattern. They realize we have somebody who's actually seen the Trinity killer.
Yes.
They call him in. Deb is talking with him. She's like, she remembers like Brian was always sucking on those cough drops and he always smelled like medicine, and it kind of jogs his memory. Scott remembers this poster that was in the van, and it's a Four Walls poster. He doesn't know that's what it is, but he's able to draw it.
Yes.
So they put two and two together. They go to a Four Walls site. Would have been the one that would have started the most recent cycle. Not the one that Scott started, but the one before that we saw with the bathtub in the opening scene.
Yep.
They find a body there. Boy in a bag, body bag in the foundation. And anyway, in the meantime, Trinity, we know he's looking up Dexter Morgan's, and he's found D. Morgan. And he walks into Dexter's apartment. Mm-hmm. He's like, it's obviously Deb. And he's like, you're a little piggy, Dexter Morgan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's bra on the floor and everything. And he looks at the mail and he realizes, he's like, Deb Morgan. God damn it. So Dexter goes and he sees the next morning. Dexter's seeing the family off to the Keys. He goes over.
Kids leave for Disney World.
Kids leaving for Disney World. Rita and Harrison leaving for the Keys. He goes over to the Mitchell's house, and he's like, "Where is he? Where could he be? Like, I need to know everything that happened. I need anything, even if you don't think it's important."
And they told him that he came back trying to take all their money and stuff.
And just he's like getting into it with them. He hears a helicopter, and he looks out. Okay, the SWAT team is here. They know it's Arthur Mitchell. They've gotten everything. And they're coming. So he's like, oh no.
And he runs into the garage.
Hides in the coffin. This is typical Dexter plot armor. He rolls out of this coffin, and some of the detectives or some of the uniformed cops are rolling into the garage as he gets out of this coffin. And he's like, forensics, I'm working on the case. And nobody's like, how did you get here?
Yeah.
I mean, Deb asks him later, how'd you get here so fast? But they're not like, how did you get into this closed garage that we were just breaching?
Yeah.
And, Deb's lecturing about get your fucking flak jacket so we know you're one of us. Dexter watches, he's sitting there by this patrol car, there's cops all over the place, and he's watching them take Trinity's family out and put them in the back of another car. And he imagines... It's a hard scene because, it's hard watching Trinity's family get hustled off.
Yeah.
Like, they're just learning that their father is a serial killer. I can't even imagine. So, Sally is hysterical. And Dexter's imagining, like, the police doing this to Rita and the kids. It's hard to watch.
It's very hard to watch.
I remember being very sad about this the first time. I'm still sad about it, but things hit you when you know what's coming. It's different. And And I remember the first time watching this just being so stricken by this scene, being
Yes.
so sad. How sad this scene was. It was just hard to watch. And then Deb, they hit you. They just double wham you. Because Harry's telling him you can still save your family. It doesn't have to be like this. He's like, it's not like... Dexter's point with Harry has been like... He has been like this. Trinity's always been like this. He didn't just start acting like an asshole last year. He's always been like this to his family. He's always been torturing them. I don't do that. I try to protect them.
Yeah, Dexter's like, I would never abandon my family.
Yeah. I mean, he said before, he's like, I would rather, admit to them what I have done and what I did than to put them in danger or to make them think that I just didn't care.
Yeah.
But Deb, in the meantime, so you're having this very emotional scene of Dexter having this very emotional kind of realization. Meantime, here comes Deb revealing to him about, this is a great exchange between these two. She's revealing the stuff that she knows about Laura Moser and Brian Moser, and he's like, please, in his internal monologue, he's like, don't say the rest, please, don't even know the rest, like that Brian Moser is my brother, please don't say this.
But she does.
Yeah.
And she tells him it's better for you to know the truth. And Dexter's like, that's a lot.
Yeah. It's good because, she's like, his reaction is about dealing with the fact that now she knows the truth, but it also works as like an honest reaction to finding out that he's the ice truck killer's brother,
Yeah.
So it works out for him. But, he blames himself to her. He's like, hey, he probably focused in on you trying to get to me. Well, that's exactly what he did, obviously. But,
Yeah.
She's like, don't know. She's like, you're like the one constant good thing in my life.
Yeah.
Which is...
It's sweet. It's such a moment for them.
It's such a moment for them. And he, again, has that, despite what Harry has said, he's like, nobody would ever say that about Arthur Mitchell.
Yeah. Yep.
Nobody. And to the extent that anybody would say anything nice about him, they weren't even saying it about him. They were saying it about this facade. The guy that goes to the home, the choir leader and all the shit that's not real.
Yeah, all the outside appearances.
But with Dexter, it is.
Yeah.
Because we see that he actually cares about Deb. He's made many decisions that made his life harder, but they helped Deb or they helped Rita.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. But speaking of Arthur, gotta handle this Arthur situation. Where could he be? He spots the windshield, the windshield that on Thanksgiving that Jonah had busted up.
For the Mustang.
So he's like, he's getting the Mustang. The Mustang has got to be in a shop somewhere.
Yep.
Cut to Arthur picking up his Mustang at a body shop.
He's had it painted.
The poor guy at the body shop's like, por favor, the paint. I thought it was so funny. He's like, por favor, the paint.
Yeah.
But I was just like, thank you, goodbye.
Later.
And then we go back. We're at the station. We get a last scene here at the station with the Trinity Killer room, and in comes the FBI. Okay, they've cleared Sally. Like, the family had no clue what was going on.
Yeah.
But here comes the FBI. And Deb starts busting their balls. She's like, well, what about when, Frank Lundy knew all this was happening? Don't you owe him an apology? Right? He's dead because of you. He's dead because you didn't take him seriously. And they're like, hey, Deb, chill out. And Joey's like, no, she's right. They're like, yeah, we should have handled it differently. You're right. Lundy deserves credit. We're going to take this whole case off your hands. It's like,
Deb's just like, motherfuckers, I just did all this work for you yet again.
I did all the work, you get all the credit. There's nothing they can do about it. The FBI is going to take the case. I mean, it's a federal case, it's across state lines. And I would love to see a season, well, we're not going to get it, but I would love to have had a season of Dexter where Deb becomes an FBI agent. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
I can't imagine her as an FBI agent, but okay. All right. It was at this point because Arthur's on the road at night. His car starts sputtering. It breaks down.
So this is where you stop.
This is where I stop.
Okay.
I know what happened, but I'm going to tell you, I stopped watching here because I know everything that happens after this because I've seen this many times, and I was in a place when I watched it this time. I was in a headspace where I was like, I cannot deal with the next 7 minutes. I know what happens.
I dealt with it though. I did watch it yet again. So Arthur is on the run. Arthur is on the road. The car breaks down. It looks like it's overheating when he lifts the thing. When he lifts the hood of the car, he's looking, and all of a sudden Dexter comes out the side and M99s him. Yep. He chokes him out. He doesn't M99 him. He chokes him out. The next thing you see is he's on the table. They're talking about how Arthur cannot control his demon. But he feels like he controls it, better than Dex. But he doesn't realize what Dexter has done in his life.
No, he doesn't know. Right.
He prays to change. God's plan, you have to do the same. He is spouting all this stuff to Dexter. And Dexter's just like looking at him because we all know Dexter does not believe in that stuff. But Dexter has all the pictures up. And Arthur is just looking at them. He's got the train set up on the ground. And he's got a record player with the song.
I always felt like at the time, I always feel like every time I watch it, he gave Trinity too much kindness.
Yeah. Because he tells him, he's like, it's God's plan. You have to do the same. It's already over.
He didn't do this yeah, he does say it's already over. Mm-hmm. Which at that point, when he says it's already over, and there's another point in here when he talks about, Dexter talks about his family. Mm-hmm. And I didn't catch it the first time, but I caught it the second time I watched it.
Yes.
Is when Dexter says, at least, I have a family that cares about me. And Trinity kind of just, his eyebrows just kind of real quick pop up.
Yeah. At that point, Arthur wants him to turn on the train.
Yeah.
So Dexter does turn on the train. He drops the record down. And you see him standing above, and he's got the hammer. And you think he's going to come down with the flat side of the hammer. And then he turns it over to the claw and just brings it down.
Let's talk about the symbolism of him killing Trinity, the way Trinity killed his father.
Yes.
Is good. Because that closes the loop of you are. There's a lot of sins of the father stuff throughout this series, and especially in this season. And I like how that closes the loop here for that.
Yes, it does. Mm-hmm. We see him out on the boat getting rid of Trinity. And he's got like a look of relief on him. And so he's headed home because he's got to go get his bag so he can meet Rita. He walks in and there's a toy on the ground he picks up. And he sits down and he realizes he has a message on his phone. And he listens to it. And it's Rita telling him, well, I forgot so-and-so. I was in such a hurry. We're going to take a later flight. We'll still meet you down there. And so Dexter's like, okay. So he calls.
And you hear her phone ring.
You hear her phone ring.
And as soon as you hear that phone ring,
you just know.
You know. He
walks over to where the phone is at. He picks it up. Her purse is right there. He sees the phone. And then all of a sudden you hear Harrison cry out. He walks to the bathroom. Harrison is sitting on the bathroom floor. Blood all around him. Dexter goes straight to him and picks him up and looks over and sees Rita in the tub, full of blood, dead. He does check for a pulse, but she is already gone. At this point, it goes into, both of them were born in blood and it was fate. At the point where I think it starts at the point where Rita's phone rings. I know, Jean, you know more about this than I did, but when you told me this, it shocked me. Nobody knew what the last scene was going to be until it happened. Yeah, they didn't let anybody read it or see the script. They were just supposed to go with it.
Michael C. Hall's reaction when he came into that bathroom
was true. Yeah, because he did not know they were going to kill her.
Yeah.
So, and you can see that reaction and that shock on his face when he looks over at her. you can see that shock.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, like Michael C. Hall is the kind of actor, I don't know that you could, he can do shock even if he knows it's coming. But I think the idea of getting this genuine kind of like, let's see what he does when he just walks in and sees this,
He's shocked. He goes outside with the baby. He's got blood all over him.
Yeah, they're cutting back and forth between, when he's carrying Harrison out, they're cutting back and forth between him and the flashbacks with Harry carrying him out of the shipping container.
Yeah, and it looks very similar. They're both covered in blood. And
he gives the speech that Deb gave him at the site where Lundy was shot about, I'm what's wrong, I'm broken. He is saying that about himself. He's like, I'm what's wrong, no matter what I do.
Yeah, it's sad because he feels, he knows
it's his fault.
He knows it's his fault.
Yeah.
He knows if he had taken care of the Trinity before then, he would have never been figured out and found out. But he kept thinking he had more to learn from him, and he didn't.
I mean, the sad thing is he wanted to learn things from him for his family.
Yeah.
And then this is what he loses. We will see how he reacts, how he processes this in later seasons, especially next season.
Yeah.
The beginning of season 5 picks up like
right
there, which is not something that Dexter usually does. So I think he had come to this season, aside from the fact that we lose Rita and it's a very hard to process situation. When he's talking this moment here, when he walks in and he sees her dead, and he talks about I'm the problem, I'm the one, I'm broken. It's terrible in the moment because it's a personal tragedy for him, but it's also terrible when you look back at the preceding 4 seasons and you see all this work he did and how central Rita was to it all, and how he finally gotten to this moment where he's like, I don't want that other stuff. I want this. I want this family. I want this life. I want to be this man that Rita loves. This man that she sees in me. I want to be that man.
And now she's gone.
And it in that moment. So Trinity, what Trinity did when he killed Rita, there are moments Dexter, has a different route of progress after this, but he destroys, just as Harry kind of perverted this thing that had happened to Dexter for his own ends. Trinity takes and destroys whatever was left of that little boy.
Yeah.
Is gone now.
Yeah.
Forever. Something else takes its place, and it's not the worst thing in the world. Certainly not, because I'll say, Dexter does things after this that are, I believe he's still, there's a good person in there under all the serial killing,
But still, yeah.
But still, that last little shred of innocence that was left in that little boy in that shipping container is gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
All that hope. I was like, when, and I had taken this, when we were talking about that last night that he and Rita spent together in that revelation of his about, this is the life I want, this is where I want to be. I was like, so Rita's death, I mean, obviously we see what it is on the story level, but like on the bigger level, it's like the death of hope.
Yes. Yes. I completely believe that. I mean, seeing that and just knowing like all the backstory for Dexter, like the first time I saw that, I cried for like an hour afterwards.
Oh God. Yeah.
There is so much in this episode, like when they're putting Trinity's family in the cop car and him imagining it being Rita and the kids, you can see how he doesn't want to put them through that, and you're seeing so much movement and how he wants to be the man that Rita needs and deserves and wants. And then for him to walk in and find her in that bathtub, and then for Harrison to be in all of that blood, he's basically thinking my son is going to live the same life I've lived.
Yeah.
Because he was born in blood too.
Yeah, I mean, Harrison is slightly younger than Dexter was.
Yes.
So there's, and they had made when Dexter went, a couple, like there was the last episode, the one before, when Harrison was at the doctor, and he's like, well, the good thing is, buddy, you won't remember any of this. And he talked about, well, I remembered my stuff, but it was like, you were older. So
yeah.
You hope that
Harrison will never have to remember seeing his mother in that tub like that.
Yeah. if I have, I have complaints with Dexter after this season. My complaints multiply after this season. And I knew, realistically, if the series was going to go on, even if Rita had lived through this season, if the series was going to continue, it was probably inevitable that she was going to die at some point. I think one of my overarching complaints with Dexter, which Dexter and its spin-offs continue to be some of my favorite television of all time. So take this criticism as one that made out of love, But it is that the way Rita seems to have gotten memory hold. To me, she's a pivotal, crucial character to the overall universe.
Yeah, she is.
And to the fact that she kind of just sort of disappears after this, it doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's like memory scenes of her here and there,
but it's
not a lot.
I mean, I understand like we can't be obsessed with Rita going forward, but I don't know. I feel like there are missed opportunities. We see how effective here, like the memory of Harry.
Yeah.
And Harry's expectations and stuff. We see how that can be useful as a separate character and as like something that interacts with how Dexter views the world.
But Dexter never wanted Rita to know he was a serial killer, so he couldn't use her as his sounding board.
Right, but wouldn't that he had this guilt over Harry too, that because he knew that Harry killed himself because he couldn't live. So he would obviously, and Harry was partly to blame for the situation. But Rita was totally innocent. Obviously, he has guilt over his role in her death.
Yes.
So wouldn't you think? I mean, these are just pieces in his head. So wouldn't you think you would have Rita there being like, "Look, Dexter."
I mean, yeah, that's definitely a missed opportunity that could have happened.
I don't know. I just maybe it wouldn't have worked, but I just always get sad sometimes thinking about how much we don't hear about Rita after she dies.
Yeah. I mean, we hear a little bit here and there. This next season, there is a little bit.
Yeah.
But it pretty much, you don't hear a lot about
it. I think after this season, you have to kind of start taking the seasons as standalone individual stories.
Yeah. I
think we have I think once Rita's gone, we lose this big overarching arc of Dexter himself, of his growth that makes any kind of sense at all.
Yeah.
He doesn't make a lot of sense after this. And I'm going to say, I don't think he starts making sense again until Resurrection.
Yeah.
And like I say, definitely still like the show after this.
Yeah.
The
next 4 seasons are a little rough.
They're different. There's something fundamentally changed. And I don't think it's just Rita. I'm not saying it's just Rita. I think Rita's part of the bigger picture. But something, and I know that different people took over like the writing and then all this stuff. And it shows that you can feel a fundamental shift in the heart and soul of the show after this season.
Yeah. I mean, season 5 was okay.
I think of the last half of the series, season 5 was probably the best season.
Yeah.
For sure. Actually, for sure. I know it was.
But yeah, 4 more seasons, and I can tell you, just looking back and knowing what's coming and what's happened, like, season 4 is definitely my favorite serial killer one. Like, Trinity was just amazing. John Lithgow put so much into that character that you just, I can't imagine anybody else playing that character as well. Because he really put his all into that.
Yeah, there is something about the way he, I mean, it's obviously, it's a sign of somebody who is a master of their craft, the way he just disappears into that role completely.
Yeah, he did. And we saw so much growth in this season with Deb losing Lundy, but bouncing back the way she did, going after Christine, kind of figuring things out on her own without Dexter pointing her in the right direction. Because Dexter seemed to always give her just a little something to point her that way. But Dexter wasn't involved with the whole Christine stuff. He had no idea that
Well, he spent most of the series or the season trying to get people off of Trinity's trail.
Yeah, but he didn't even know Christine was his daughter until basically Christine killed herself.
Yeah.
I mean, so that was a piece of the puzzle that just, I think that was one of the best parts of the season, because they didn't give you any kind of hints. He saw this article is done by Christine and this and that, and then all of a sudden she opens the door and she's like, Daddy. Like, I would have never guessed.
Yeah, that's what I said. This is a remarkably subtle level of storytelling for Dexter. I mean, you get it in the first season, and you get it in this season, and you don't get it in literally any other season. Like, not even Resurrection. There is a level of craft to the writing in this season 1 and 4 that you don't see anywhere else.
Yeah. And then, I mean, on top of Deb just growing a lot, you see something in Quinn snap.
Yeah.
He's trusted Christine all this time, and to turn around and find out she's Trinity's daughter.
I mean, he was getting used,
Yeah. And I mean, the fact that Deb finds out that her brother is the brother to the ice truck killer that tried to kill her in season 1. I mean, how much has that got to add to the pain that she already carries for everything that's happened to her?
Yeah.
And then, Vince is never going to grow.
Yeah, Vince never changes.
Yeah, he is just a horny little guy.
Vince, I mean, and honestly, Vince never changes, which is fine. I mean, Vince does what he's supposed to do. And I think maybe I'm realizing it, I think for the first time in this watch through, Maria never really changes.
No, she doesn't. Angel does a little bit here and there. A little
bit here and there.
I think he changes more in these later 4 seasons than he did in the first 4. But yeah, and I mean, you just see so much change with Dexter. He is the biggest change. Like, he realizes and grows in so many ways during the season. He realizes he actually loves Rita. He loves the kids. He needs them. He wants them. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't know how to get rid of the dark passenger. And
But I think that's
does he really want to, though?
But he does, though. I think that's the great... I mean, obviously, Rita's dying is the great tragedy of the season. But I think the big picture, the great tragedy of the season is that he was ready to let the dark passenger go. He had made that decision. That was not the life he wanted. This was the life he wanted. This life with Rita. That's what he wanted.
So if he would have killed the Trinity, it would have been done.
That was it. That was going to be it.
It's sad that it ended that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always feel bad because I like Julie Benz. I like the Rita character. She really gave something to the show. Like, she's what helped Dex grow so much more. So, she's going to be missed.
Yeah, she is definitely going to be missed. Yeah. Everybody has their opinion about Dexter's best match, and I'm like, I mean, it's never not going to be Rita. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm never going to say it's anybody but Rita.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think Rita was the best match for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, Lila, God, no. She was too much for Dex. But yeah, I think Rita's his perfect match because the ones we see him with in the future don't really match up either.
Yeah, and we'll talk about, when we get to them, we will talk about why Rita is the queen, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Rita truly will always be the queen.
But we'll definitely miss her for the next 4 seasons. And we'll talk about, like I said, he'll have different involvements with different women in different capacities, and we'll touch on all of them. I mean, some of them are fine. They're not Rita, but they're fine. There's one I just will not. When we get to her, you will understand why I say, "Oh, she's just a cleaned up Lila," is what she is. She's just Lila with a better dye job and a little more self control. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty obvious who I'm talking about. You only have like 2 choices.
Yeah.
And it's not Julia Stiles.
But yeah, I mean, I think if you sit back and you take a long look at season 4, you see a lot of growth in our main characters, and then you just have to say goodbye to Julie Benz and Rita, and know that they had a good run.
They had a good run. Yeah, but like I said, the show loses something after this season.
Yeah.
Like I said, still one of my favorite TV shows of all time, but I have a fondness for the first 4 seasons that I just can't muster for the last 4.
Yeah.
And this goes back to when we've covered the first season of Resurrection, and we'll be covering the second season when it starts in September, October, whatever. I think after this season, the original run, I don't think I got. I mean, I still watch Dexter and I still love Dexter. I don't think I got excited as I used to get every time a new season of Dexter was coming out. I didn't. And going into Resurrection, I had a lot of reticence. By the end of Resurrection, and even Original Sin, but especially Resurrection because that was more recent. That I am more excited for season 2 of Resurrection than I have been about a season of Dexter since the end of season 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. And I'm really excited because there's a lot of news coming out about Resurrection. Like, we know Uma Thurman will be there.
Yay.
Again.
I told you she was coming back.
I'm sure we're sure Rapunzel will show up, but I've not seen anything about that. But there are some other characters.
Brian Cox. Cast. Okay, so Brian Cox, who I'm pretty sure is going to be the New York Ripper character.
Okay.
I don't know if that's official or that's speculation, but I think
it might be speculation.
Okay,
at this point, but I'm not sure.
But Brian Cox, I love Brian Cox.
But we know Dexter and Harrison, the characters that play them, they're there. So I was happy to hear that Uma Thurman was coming back. She's definitely got more there to give.
I could see a lot of possibilities with that character.
I can too, with her and Dex together. Yeah. I can definitely see that. And Harrison, because what she did to Harrison in season 1, that.
But then we find out it's not because she took any joy in it. She's yeah.
But I mean, Resurrection, that second season's going to be good. So I look forward to that.
And yes, like I said, I mean, that's maybe what I appreciate about Resurrection is, as much as I love Dexter, something of my fervor for Dexter died with Rita. And getting it back after Resurrection, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is.
I miss Rita. I still loved her. I loved her so much. It was so sad. I mean, like genuinely.
Every time I know what's coming, and I still cry.
I have, and it's not even just. I mean, that scene, but they're working you up with so much emotion with the Deb stuff and the watching the Trinity's family. And it's like all this stuff, and you're so raw and exposed, and then they just show her in the bathtub and Harrison crying. It's like. This is, it's
like, who do you people think you are?
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, and...
So that's it for Dexter season 4.
Yeah, it's my favorite season, and it's the one that made me cry the most.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I don't think I really cry after this until 8.
Yeah, and even in 8, honestly, 8, well, okay, I do have a moment in 7. We'll talk about it. I have moments in all the seasons. I know season 1, when he killed Brian, I got sad.
Yeah.
But the episode where he goes into the hotel room and he actually remembers his mother.
That was a sad.
That made me cry.
Yeah, that made me cry too.
But this Rita thing, I remember watching it the first time, and as soon as that phone rang, I started sobbing, and I just could not. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But that's it for season 4. We're going to talk about season 5 starting next month. Well, no, actually no. Okay, so by the time this is wrapping up, we won't have enough time between the ending of this and the beginning of Resurrection. So we're going to do something a little different, and we're going to, have more information about that
coming up,
and we're going to have it on the website. So we're not going to just have no Dexter for 2 months. That would not be okay.
Yeah, we've got a couple ideas to keep you entertained.
Yeah, until Resurrection, which and then after Resurrection we'll start on season 5. But in the meantime, you know what? Check out The Final Assessment, our podcast about evil, which is a great show. If you have never watched it, give it a watch.
There's 4 seasons there.
And we have other projects that we are planning in the works. We also have Outside Food and Drink, which is our movie podcast. Check that out. We had a lot of different things going on for that. We're gonna have we have a schedule up for the rest of the year on the website. So If there's not something you see that interests you for the rest of the year, surely there is something for the first half of the year that you.
And if not, email us and tell us what you want to see, and maybe we'll
talk about it.
Yeah, maybe we'll slip it in somewhere.
Yeah, we're always open to suggestions. In the meantime, check those out. You can follow us on our socials. Drop us an email or whatever, hey, if you think that Rita was not Dexter's soulmate, I don't want to hear from you. I will not entertain your thoughts on the matter. Rita is the queen. I will not hear anything else. That's a joke. If you want to argue that Rita was not the queen, that's fine. You're not going to convince me, but let's do it anyway. Anyway, until next time, well, keep your eyes on the website, and we'll be posting stuff about what's coming next. And we'll see you then in a couple weeks, and then we'll see you again in October for Resurrection. Until then,
later.